Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I'm reviewing this new drone from Holystone. This is the HS440. Now, this is not a very fancy drone. There's no GPS or optical flow, but it does have a motorized 1080p camera. It shoots 1080p at 25 frames per second. So you can rotate it, tilt it, I should say, manually using the controller straight all the way, should be all the way 90 degrees down. And it also has a micro SD card slot. It holds up to 32 gigabyte capacity, and that will allow us to record the video as we fly and not have to worry about recording over the FPV stream over the Wi-Fi to the app on your phone. Now, I did record a table review for this drone, and that will be at the end of this video. So if you want to see everything that comes with this and the nice carrying case and all that stuff, then stick around to the end. But most of you guys just want to see it fly. That's why I'm going to stick it at the end of this video, so you don't have to wade through the table view, which many of you guys don't really particularly want to watch. Also, my representative that I cooperate with, the Holystone, asked that I include her email address down in the video description. And she wants to give away some free stuff. So if you were to purchase this drone from Amazon, email her, give her your order number from Amazon, and mention RDRC reviews. It's where you saw it. And she'll give you a free gift, which will probably be an extra battery for this drone. So just keep that in mind. Now, we have to see how this drone does and make sure that it is worth buying first, but I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that from the get-go of the video. So let's go ahead and I'm going to fire this up, get it connected to the Wi-Fi feed, and then we'll get up in the air and see how it flies. So let me get that connected. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have the app connected over the Wi-Fi feed to the drone. You just have to connect it in your settings to your phone to the Wi-Fi, and then you open the app. The app is called the Holystone FPV app. I'll put a screenshot of it up here. I'll also include a screenshot in the table review as well, if I remember during the table review. Let's go ahead and get up in the air and see how it flies. Now, we want to record some video since this does shoot 1080p. So to do that, you're going to long press on the photo video button. The short press will just take a photo and makes a ding, so we know we're recording. Now, it records to the TF card or the SD card in the drone. It'll also record a 720p copy to the gallery on your phone. So you want to unlock the props. Now, for that, we can do a gyro calibration, which is both sticks down to the right. It's going to be impossible to see that during the day. There's a red light in the rear of this drone that will flash when you do that. And let's go, I think it was both sticks down and in unlocked. Yep. And then you can do an auto takeoff here. Now this has no GPS, so it's going to drift with the wind, but it's not very windy today. That's pretty fast yaw. Now we're in the lowest rate. There are 2 rates on this drone, so there's the lowest rate, and let's go to the high rate. Yaw gets even quicker. So this is going to be pretty sporty in the highest rate, which I'm in right now. You can see I still got my FPV feed going. That's a good sign that everything's working fine on the app. And 1080p at 25 frames a second is not bad for what I would consider, you know, this is still a toy grade drone. It looks a lot like the Holystone HS440 E and S720G brushless drones, which are of course much bigger. This drone's very lightweight. It was like around 170 grams, I think. The table review should have the exact information of that. I actually haven't filmed the table review yet. But yeah, it's well below 250 grams, so there's no issues with FAA registration here in the United States. It doesn't have any 3D flips or anything like that, but it does have a mode that will spin on its yaw axis, like a top, and then it has a circle mode which will fly in circles. We'll try that here in a minute, but I wanted to let's bring it back towards me here. I had it facing away from me. That's where headless mode is helpful if you're a beginner. Let's show you guys the camera tilt. So the camera tilt was pretty quick, you guys can see there on the video. It's smoother than a lot of the other drones you see at the lower price point, but it's almost too quick. Like I just want to barely go down here. I have to really quickly tap the dial. And now I can bring it back up. There we go. I can see I'm in the feed there. Let's put it back straight up and bring the drone back towards us. Now this is just brushed motor powered. There's no brushless motors. And again, being really lightweight. A day like today, it's great to fly it. I can actually go down to the low rate. We don't need to be in the highest. But a drone like this is not going to do well in a lot of wind because it doesn't have the power of brushless motors and just the general weight of the drone. Now, I know it had a pretty good flight time, but I honestly don't remember what they advertised it at. I know I read the manual from cover to cover yesterday, but I don't remember. I wanted to think it was a pretty good flight time, somewhere maybe in the 20 minutes. I'll try to remember to put a text overlay here if I remember of what it said, but I should also cover that in the table review. It is just a 1S LiPo. I think it was rated at 3.8 volts, so I believe that'd be a high voltage LiPo. Depends on how they rate them. Usually 3.7 is considered your standard sort of like nominal value. It's close to storage voltage. Storage voltage is usually 3.8, 3.85 volts per cell. So yeah, this is the app's stable. We're not lost any video feed. Now I'm not going to be able to test like the Wi-Fi range because this doesn't have GPS. If you fly this out of ways and you lose the Wi-Fi feed, you have to fly it back manually. And that's where you're going to lose orientation and you're going to fly it away and lose it. So this is still meant to fly close. You got to have GPS to test range, especially on a Wi-Fi feed. All right, let's test out some of those features that it had with the like the auto yaw gimmick that's become more and more common on some of these drones. And then we'll try like the loop or circle fly. So let's bring it a little closer to me here. Now there's not much features in the app. Some of them are grayed out because I think they're for more advanced drones. But there is like a one where you can try to get it to take photos using hand gestures. We're not going to test that. That's in the past I've had a lot of trouble getting those to work, and it's not very practical for a non-GPS drone because look how it's going to drift on me as I would try to do that. All right, anyway, let's try that. Let's tap that and see. I believe that if I tap it, it'll do the auto yaw. So let me get it up and bring it closer. There's a little bit of wind. As you can see, it's going to drift pretty quickly. Let's press that, and there it goes. And that's no different, as you guys can see, than just yawing with my yaw, except for it's going to be at the highest speed. So let me put it in high rate, and there you can see. That is me doing it manually. And then if I just press the button, it's doing the same thing. And then you can just give it stick inputs or press the button again, and that'll cancel it. So you can cancel it just by giving it any inputs with the sticks. And let's try that loop one. I'm going to try, there's a little breeze from right to left at times here, and it's going to want to very quickly get blown away as we try to do that, the circle. So I'm going to kind of bring it over this way so it's already in the wind so it can get blown from right to left. And let's go ahead and long press. And there you can see it's sort of like this funnels almost is what it shows it more like a loop in the instruction manual, but it's more of like a funnel. Let me try that again. It's not quite the same, it's just spinning on its yaw axis. Let's try that again. See, it's doing very small little funnels, which also you could do that yourself. Actually, in highest rate, you do it much tighter yourself by putting the sticks. Let me show you guys how to do that manually, like this. See? It's just funnels. And that's going to be, to do that, if you want to learn how to do that manually, you're going to put this, your pitch full forward and then give it left or right yaw. See? And it'll do that manually. So when I said loop, it's sort of like instructions looked like it was more that. Some of these will do like an auto circle, but it's just basically an auto funnel. So you can do auto yaw at highest rate speed and auto funnel, doing funnels. Yeah, we got a good feed here. What I think I might do is bring this over and test an auto landing. and then take it back up in the air and take a couple photos, because with these non-stabilized drones, there's no gimbal, there's no electronic image stabilization. These drones are not going to take very good video. In terms of the quality may be okay, and this looked like it had decent quality. I don't think it's got a lot of jello. I can't tell you for sure. Jello is a term we use when it looks like the drone is filming video through a bowl of jello. That's from vibrations vibrating the sensor and lens on the camera and creating that. And I don't know if it has that. I can't tell you here. It's too hard to see in the video feed. So that's one thing to keep in mind on this guy. But because there's no stabilization, the drone's always rocking. And it's hard to get nice, smooth video. In fact, it's impossible. So we could try to get some photos, because lots of times that's where these drones are going to actually be decent. Usually, because your photo is going to, you can make it more stable, you can crop it, rotate it in editing, and make the photo look decent. Let's just do the auto landing and bring it down. Oh, not too bad. And let's go ahead and press the record video button, long press, and hopefully that stopped recording. We got one audible beep that it did. And let's just get this guy back up and see if we can get a couple photos by quick pressing on the controller, or you can also do it from the app. Now, it looks like it's going back to the main menu odd enough, but we're back in. Let's just make sure we're picking it up, that we still have a good feed, and we do. The app's been very stable. I have a lot of issues. A lot of these lower cost drones, apps are very flaky. They crash, the Wi-Fi breaks up. This has been rock solid, and I'm really impressed with that. It shouldn't be impressed. They all should do that, but many of them don't. And let's go ahead and unlock the props. I'll just go a manual takeoff. I'm just giving it throttle. You don't need to do the auto takeoff, because that's the same thing as just pushing up on the left stick. There's no difference. Let's just take it up first here and try to just get a photo here, looking out over the cemetery here. Let's take one. Oh, I pressed the I pressed the I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the auto yaw. Many of these the photo buttons on the right. Let's try it here now. Everybody should give a photo. Now when the drone's moving, that's gonna make the photo not as ideal. Let's try another one off this way, and one off this way. Let's take it up a little higher so we don't end up just getting my house. That's pretty high. All right, let's bring it down. This altitude holds, so it takes its time coming down, but boy, this is flying really nice for a toy. We're not getting blown away. It's as stable as you can expect for a drone that has no stabilization. And maybe we can see if we can, again, let's try, my head cam's kind of wobbling around these sunglasses, so hopefully it's not too bad. And let's take it up a little bit and try to rotate the camera down and see if we can see us very, very quick. And then take a photo. There we go. So you guys can see me in the video. I'm sure you're really excited to see me. I was silly enough to wear a black Star Wars shirt and black shorts outside. Even though it's not super hot, I'm still sweating bullets here in the sun. So now we'll just do a little manual flying here without, of course that's all it has is manual, but without any concerns for video or photo. You guys already see that quality. Let's just take it out here and just see how we can fly. Just showing you just my head cam. Well, my camera, it really wants to wobble on my forehead. The Osmo Action that I use is a great camera, but it's very heavy. And with these sunglasses I got on today, it wants to feel like it's like the whole thing's falling over my glasses. Now look at that. That's nice and smooth. We just have a very light wind that's drifting. And that's nice that you know the drone's nice and stable. It's just simply drifting in the wind. Now, there is a way to trim in this, the controls. I believe it was something like a long press on this button right here. And then you enter the trimming mode, and then you can give it the inputs for pitch, yaw, roll, whatever it was doing. You shouldn't have to give it yaw I mean, it would be spinning all the time if it had yaw trim as necessary. But you would give it the pitch or the roll trim if it needs it. Now today, since we have a breeze going from right to left, if I trim it into that breeze and then I change direction and come back toward me, it's going to be going the wrong way, and then it's going to be trimmed for that wind as well. So you only want to trim this in a no wind environment, like in your basement of your house, or if you're out having to catch a day where there was zero breeze, which is pretty rare, but you can sometimes get that in the late evening or early morning. Yeah, this is a nice little flyer. I don't recall the price on this drone. It's a little hard probably to see it right now because we got a cloud cover, so it's going to be a bit of a lack of detail probably in the camera here. It's just sort of just in the shadows. But I tell you what, it feels a lot more comfortable on me. Yeah, this flies really nice. What I was getting is, I don't know the price on this drone. Holy Stone was kind enough to send this out to me for review. So I will include a purchase link to this. I'm absolutely going to recommend this, assuming that it's not too crazy expensive. You know, the drones on Amazon are usually a little bit more expensive than if you bought them from China, but you get the 2-day shipping. This is Prime eligible. If you're a Prime member and there's any problems, you know, Amazon will just replace it. Probably won't even make you ship it back. So there's just no issues there. It's worth a little extra many times to just buy it from Amazon and wash your hands of any customer service and the shipping nightmares that can come from ordering directly from China. Because you're not going to find a drone like this at your local hobby shop, and you might find one at Walmart, but I'll tell you what, Walmart's going to be insanely expensive. Don't ever buy a drone from Walmart unless it's like a DJI Mini SE or something like that, because all those other ones they're junk, they're overpriced, and they're just the same as these Amazon drones at literally twice the cost. So just don't ever do that. I don't think there was a battery telemetry here in terms of telling me the battery power. I didn't notice it when I was testing it, so it just may be only a Wi-Fi video feed. But we've gotten a nice flight time so far. We can fly this dead, guys. You can see it flies pretty good. It flies smooth, and there's really not much else that I can tell you. Now I sort of feel like it's starting to lose some punch. I don't know if we got sometimes these drones will only flash on the light if it's getting low, and it's solid red still. That's your only light on this drone. There's no lights in the motor pod, and there's no lights in the front, so you can't really rely on any kind of lights for orientation on this guy. Yeah, overall, this has been a really nice little toy drone. I'm actually really enjoying flying this. I don't even want to end the video because it's just so much fun to fly. Sometimes it's just fun to fly a drone like this. Don't worry about the camera. And we don't need GPS. GPS makes it hard to be sporty on this design because it wants to constantly hold position and brake and correct itself when you let out the sticks. Yeah. Nice. Look how smooth that is. I'm really impressed. This is a good job, Holy Stone, for making a nice little toy drone that actually works and does what it says it's supposed to do. I honestly have no gripes. Yeah, I don't have any gripes. I don't know what to even say. I mean, sure, you could have GPS. Sure, we could add some sort of stabilization. That's all going to drive the price up. Some people just want a drone to do what I'm doing right now. Toss it up in the backyard, have fun flying it, maybe with your son or daughter, and capture a little video or some photos if you need to. Snap a shot of the roof or take a picture of the sunset. This can do that. You just have to have realistic expectations. All right, guys, let's see if we can bring it down here and maybe try to hand catch it. I don't usually hand catch brushless drones. Now we're getting the beeping, so that tells us we are at low battery now. But a brush drone, I'll keep pressing down until it thinks it's on the ground. A brush drone, this motor's not smart, but they're not gonna cut your hand all up or anything. All right, we got non-stop beeping, which tells us that we're at low battery and it's not gonna shut up until I'm until we power off the drone. All right, guys, that wraps up the flight review for the little Holystone foldable HS440. If you're interested in a table review, stick around. That'll be coming up next. You can see all it comes with. It includes a nice carrying case. If that's all you cared about seeing was the flight review, then thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, and have a great day, guys. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video here for the table review of the HS440 from Holystone. Now, as you can see on here, it mentions an HD camera. It's actually full HD, 1080p at 25 frames per second. And it mentions that circle fly, though it was really more funnels. It really didn't do like a circle, a very large one. It's very tight because it's more of a funnel, as you guys saw in the flight review. And that's pretty much all that's on the box. There's not much on there. But here is the case. It comes in this carrying case, which is sort of common for Holystone, and some of these Amazon sellers they use these carrying cases for their drones, which is pretty nice. So let's go ahead and open it up and show you the drone. Now, I've already flown it, so this is how it was packaged whenever I received it, except for the battery that's in the drone was actually up here in this little compartment where it has a molded out for 2 batteries on this. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the drone, since you weren't able to see it so closely there out in the flight review. Of course, it is foldable, so you need to fold out the let's see, is it the rear arms first? Always get that mixed up. It depends on the design of the drone. And there you fold it out. And I already got the other second battery inserted into the rear of the drone. You have to pull this little tab or lever down, and then you can pull out the battery. It can be a little bit tricky to get this battery out at times. Once you get it, it goes. It's just a matter of you have to push down on this, and then you got to get your finger on here to actually pull on it. Now I got it. So it's a matter of just getting a decent grip on it. And this is a 1S LiPo. It is 1800 milliamp hour, 1900 milliamp hour. It's very difficult to read that very small text. I doubt it's going to show up enough in the video. 1900 milliamp hour, 3.8 volts. So I believe that is a lithium polymer LiPo high voltage battery. But it's just a 1S, it's just one cell in here. The flight time on this is rated at 20 minutes. I've not edited the flight review yet when I'm filming this, so I don't know exactly what we got when I reached the low voltage in the video. We didn't actually fly it to to land it itself, but it was pretty close. And I would say it's a pretty impressive flight time. It is brush motor power here with the you know, the fly open props. And of course you get the motorized camera. You can tilt down and up remotely from the controller, and it's 1080p at 25 frames per second. And there's a micro SD card slot here, or TF card, whatever you want to call it, down at the bottom. I already have that out since I used it during the flight review, but yeah, it does record it to a video folder, and then there's a photo folder for the photos, which I thought were pretty decent too from what I viewed on this. It has just this rear red LED on it here, and that's all the lights that it has. You can power it up there, and there you can see it. So that's the only LEDs that this drone actually has, which is a bit unusual, but you know, it's FPV, so the LEDs are a little bit less important as, you know, ones that don't have a Wi-Fi FPV. Here is that spare battery right here. And then inside the little pouch in the back, you get your instruction manual, which was in a Ziploc bag when it came. And it's a pretty good one. It's in more than one language, but it has all your information in here, including the app. The app has a QR code inside of here. I don't know if I'll find it during the, just flipping here during the video, but it is the Holystone FPV is the name of the app, which here it is. And it says it right here, Holystone FPV is the app. And then you get this, your little packet of goodies. You get 2 chargers here. And you get, so you get 1 charger for every battery. You get extra set of props and a Phillips screwdriver, which I always put in this stuff for any kind of repairs or removing the propellers. And then let's put the controller down here, and we'll take a closer look at the controls on the controller. I've got in the upper portion here, on the upper, the dial here on the top, where my index finger is. gimbal or camera tilt up and down. That's the only buttons you have on the top of the controller. And then here you've got in the upper, this button right here, that is your auto yaw or the auto funnels on a long press. Short press is auto yaw, and a long press will be your circle fly, they call it, which is the auto funnels. The button down here is your 1-key takeoff and 1-key landing, and then a long press does emergency stop of the propellers. Then you got your under the phone clip holder. You got your power button in the middle, and then below that you have your low and your high switch. And then over here to the side you've got your trimming button, and that's also your headless mode. And then up here above the left stick you've got your short press for photo and your long press for video. And that's all of the controls on this. Pretty basic for a drone like this. And overall, I loved the way this drone flew. I thought it fulfilled all of the expectations that I had. Had a nice flight time, very stable. The camera's decent for what it is, being that this is a rather inexpensive drone. And it comes nicely packaged. Just don't expect a whole lot out of the camera, considering this is not really meant to be this is not a professional aerial photography drone. This is still a toy. But overall, it did a pretty darn good job. So I was pretty happy. Let's go ahead and weigh it, and then we'll wrap this video up. You guys can then see just the total weight was around 170 grams. I think I actually, with the battery in the TF card, it was like 173. I believe it's going to be right around that. Might be a gram less with the SD card out. And we get 172, 173. It waffles between the TF card in there. You're getting 173. Let me move it back because that's not going to be visible. There we go. Now you guys can see it. I got my camera at a slightly different angle if I can get a little more close up, but because this angle, I'm not quite used to the filming angle, so it's a little bit, I was cutting it off there. So 173 grams on the low side of 173, but well below the 250 grams. So in the US, you don't have to have any numbers any FAA numbers on it to fly. If this is all you got, you don't have to worry about it registering or get an FAA number. It's just a toy you can fly in the backyard, and no one's going to give you a hard time. All right, guys, that wraps up the incomplete review for the Holystone HS440. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. While you're at it, click that bell so you're notified every time I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.